Welcome back to another outdoor Switch to Linux, and today I just want to talk about one of the features coming to GNOME 46. I believe it's the alpha release is now out. You can play around with it if you are inclined to do such things. But one of the things that stuck out on me is that they are adding integration for OneDrive. And I thought this was funny because OneDrive was one of the contentious points that was in one of the initial things pushing me to Linux, because on Windows 8.0 they didn't have OneDrive forced onto you, and then when you upgraded to Windows 8.1, all of a sudden you have this OneDrive integration that you couldn't delete. And I am not using OneDrive under any way, shape, or form. And so I was like, this is utter nonsense. Get this crap out of here. And there was no way to get it out of there. And the reality is, it pissed me off so much. It was one of those things that was one of those first things that made me like, what else can I use other than Windows? Now, that being said, GNOME is not doing it the way that Microsoft is doing it. I actually support this move, not reject this move. And the reason is there are certainly people that want to use Linux, but don't have the ability to necessarily because they can't do things like OneDrive and such like that. I absolutely support people that are going to make as much change as they possibly can in the privacy sense, thereby using Linux, even if they still have to use some form of Microsoft features. And the reality is, this is something to keep in mind, that as we're talking about it, we can't always get away from Windows. Now, some of us can. I can. Everything I do is my own self-employment. I can choose which systems I work in. I can tell people, yeah, I don't have a Microsoft account, sorry, but I have this alternative instead, and I've never lost clients over that. I've had more people say, wow, that's neat. Wait, what? You don't have to use these things? You know. So I did want to talk briefly about what the system is and what it's working with. So this is the application GVfs. So this is the GNOME Virtual File Systems, which is a system here that works. I'm getting accosted by a giant bee. Hey bee, go away. All right. So the way this works, I wonder if there's a nest right next to me. I don't know. Maybe walk over here. Dude. Jeez. I'm getting attacked by bees. I will try over here instead. All right. So the GNOME Virtual File System is an application that allows a lot of these file system networks to come into place. This already supports Google Documents, for example, and it's the thing that supports your Nextcloud shares, and it also supports SMB and NTF, just a series of other file systems that are out there. And this is what's set up on the online account. So if you go into the GNOME online accounts, of course, this is in GNOME, this is in Budgie, and this is also in Cinnamon. So you go into the online accounts, and in the case of the Google account, you have to log in with the Google account and then use your two-factor authentication, whether that is a YubiKey or 2FA, just any form of methodology that allows you to verify your account. And then once you connect that, then you're going to see the separate item inside of your file system options on Nautilus, or in Cinnamon's case, Nemo. So of course that works on Nextcloud, that works on any form of networking share you're doing. It'll work on Google Docs, and now it's going to work on Office 365 and OneDrive, which I think is really good because it gives more people who want to try other systems but still have to be tied into some form of Office account. It gives them the ability to sign in and use those Microsoft accounts on Linux as long as you're using a supported system such as GNOME, Budgie, or Cinnamon. And I'm not sure if this is going to be backported into Cinnamon or not. That's yet to be seen. Now, the downsides, of course, like the Google Drive and the Nextcloud, it doesn't automatically support any offline syncing, so you can't have your files in there and save them on your computer somewhere and access them without being connected to the internet. Of course, there are applications that will allow you to do that. In the case of Nextcloud, there is a Nextcloud application, a desktop client that will allow you to do that. So it is still possible to get all that kind of stuff to work. But the reality is, this is, in my opinion, this is not, oh, Gnome bowing to Microsoft, Gnome being compromised by big tech. No, I think that this is just Gnome realizing that there have to be connections to some of these big systems. And as long as they're not forced on us, going back to Windows 8.1, since it was forced on me and it was a thing I wouldn't want to use, I considered it absolute annoyance and clutter that it's there every time I boot up the file manager. They're not doing it that way. And because of that, I completely support what they're doing. So that is a new feature coming along with GNOME 46. And with that, hopefully you enjoy that going forward, and allows you to get in and continue using Microsoft products if you can. So we're going to wrap this video up here, but I want to give you a beautiful look of the, I don't know if this is a lake, a bayou, or a swamp, or what in the world this is, but it's pretty anyway. Of course, you can help support our work over on Patreon, TOMM, or you can have a look over at our Subscribestar page, subscribestar.com/switchtolinux, or check us out on Locals, switchtolinux.locals.com. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you enjoy switching to Linux.